What's up, guys, and welcome to a special Derby Day edition of EBFG TV Match Preview. I'm Colton. Joining me as always is Brian. Brian, what do you expect from the Sounders against the Portland Timbers this Sunday?
Well, I kind of mentioned it in our match review of what did we play last week? Real Salt Lake game.
Like,
And I think it's going to be fireworks from minute one. I think both teams are going to come out flying. They both know that, both in terms of the Cascadia Cup and MLS Cup playoffs, and just for pride in general, obviously, big Derby Day match. This is a huge, huge game. Kind of a turning point, essentially, in the season, or potentially, rather, for both teams. So, even regardless, the rivalry, 3 points here is going to be huge. And I think the product on field is definitely going to match that.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a huge game. The club announced today that over 50,000 tickets have been sold, and that's 2 days before the match. So hopefully around 55,000 people inside CenturyLink on Sunday, which will make for an awesome atmosphere. I feel like we're going to see offensive fireworks from both teams. Hopefully a lot of big defensive stops from the Sounders, particularly, obviously. And it's a super big game for the playoff race. Right now, the Sounders are 5 points behind the Timbers. The Timbers have played 25 games. The Sounders have played 23. Portland occupies that last playoff spot in the Western Conference. So we play them twice, basically in a week. We play them next Sunday in Portland. So these two games are huge for the playoff picture, and they're huge for the Cascadia Cup, as you said. And obviously just pride, because at this point in the season, we don't know if we're going to make the playoffs, but you still definitely want to beat Portland because they're a little brother from the South, and you want to get the 3 points every time you face them on the field.
Absolutely. It's one of those games where, it could be our only win of the season, and I would still be stoked about it. It's just such a good feeling beating them. I know I do have some friends who are fans of those people we won't name. But and, it's friendly banter and all that. But no, it's just such a good feeling to beat them. And if we accomplish nothing else this season, at least we can say that. Obviously we have higher goals than that. We're still trying to push to make the playoffs. But just in terms of especially carrying the momentum forward that we've kind of started, this is going to be a pivotal game for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're both a bit biased, but it is the biggest rivalry in MLS, if not in North American soccer in general. It's going to be a huge game, huge traveling support from down south, which is good for the league. As much as I don't necessarily like them being in our stadium, but it is good for the league, and it's good for people around the world to see that there's this huge traveling support base for both teams that goes to each other's stadiums, and then obviously huge home crowds up in Seattle. So it'll be a great match for those across the pond, wherever that be, to watch and kind of get a taste of MLS rivalry at its finest. As I said earlier, we're 5 points behind the Timbers. They've played 2 more games than we have. It's still definitely going to be pretty difficult, but can you see this team making a push into the playoffs?
I can. Obviously with MLS, it's one of those anything can happen type leagues with the parity and the salary caps and all that. So you never know. We could fall off again late in the season. They could have a late surge or vice versa. But based on current form, yeah, I can totally see it happening. I would obviously love to see it happen. But yeah, I guess we'll see on Sunday.
Anything's possible. That's what I'm going with. I definitely think that they can make it into the playoffs, especially the way they've been playing. I mean, as I've said earlier in our match review for the Salt Lake game, we could have scored 4 goals in each of our last 3 games, which is a very exciting prospect given the fact that at one point in the season, it looked like we were never going to score again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely possible. Shoot, right now, Brian Schmetzer has won 2 games and drawn 1. If he goes on to the end of the season without losing a game, even though that's going to be incredibly difficult with the upcoming travel we have scheduled, this team can definitely make a push towards the MLS Cup, and it's going to be fun to watch.
It definitely is. The shakeups were perfectly timed, I think, in terms of when they kind of executed them. Because essentially, in addition to gaining Lodero, we also I said essentially twice. We also we kind of gained Dempsey back at the same time. You look at his play in the last 3 games since Ziggy left versus maybe the previous 3 before then. It's like watching a totally different player, and it's seeing the way that he links up with Morris now and Lodero and the kind of chemistry the 3 of them are building. It's a lot of fun to watch, and the defense has tightened up a little bit too. We're still kind of having that one mental mistake, it seems, per game. Last week especially was pretty glaring. And against Portland, I don't know what it is. We always seem to have some of those, so I'm really hoping for a tighter defense this week. But the offense definitely has shown that they can get it done.
Yeah, Dempsey looks rejuvenated, refreshed, all of those words. He looks like all of them. He looks like, I guess, the old Clint Dempsey, the Oba Clint Dempsey, if you want to call him that,
Yeah.
which is definitely great. And I agree with you on the timing of all the shakeups. In a year filled with some probably questionable front office decisions, I feel like the decision to mutually part ways with Ziggy came at just the right time. The team, they look like a new team again, and it's very exciting to watch. And on that note, let's talk about some predictions. What do you think the score is going to be on Sunday?
Well, my track record so far has not been fantastic with predictions. So maybe I'm going to go a little more reasonable. I'm going to say 5-0 Sounders. No. I'm going to say it's going to be probably 3-2 Sounders, I think, is a reasonable prediction for this one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if the first half ends like 2-2 or 3-2 even to that point. Kind of like that game we had in Portland a couple of years ago. I just feel like both teams have the ability to score at will almost. So, I'm going to go with 3-1 Sounders. I definitely think that one goal is going to be a little bit of a mental mistake. But as I said, I can easily see this game being like 2-2 or 3-2 at halftime. Either way, I don't even know who would have that 3-2 lead. So, it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be fireworks, flamethrowers, huge open stadium match. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's going to be a real exciting one. And it's the fun thing about these games is that kind of the more casual fans a lot of the time will pick this as their first game. So I'm really excited for those fans who kind of get to experience this as their first Sounders game. Like our buddy Kyle, who's visiting in from Iowa, who's been to some away games, but this will be his first ever Sounders home game. And just I get excited as a fan getting to introduce other fans to that sort of atmosphere for that sort of game.
This game has so many layers, really. The Cascadia Cup, the playoff race, the rivalry. It's deep, and this game is going to be quite an exciting one. Thank you guys for watching EBFG TV. We will speak to you after the match on Sunday. Hopefully we're speaking to you after a big Sounders 3 points.